Well, hello everybody. How are you doing today? We are going to do another trailer park story today on our drunkards. Now, every neighborhood has a drunkard, whether you know it or not. If you do not know who your drunkard is, it might be you. If you wake up in the morning and the first thing you grab is alcohol, you might be the drunkard. Okay, so today we're going to talk about our drunkard. I talked to our drunkard and he is fine with me using his stories, just not anything else, which is what I told him. Okay, so let's start off with one of my favorites, where he sat on a police car. He was drunk, walking down the center of the road, and he had been walking, stumbling sideways. I mean, you walk like this, he was walking more like this, and stumbling quite heavily. So he decided he was going to walk down the center of the road. Cop pulled up behind him, flipped his lights, and hit his little horn. And our drunkard seen that there was a cop behind him, so instead of leaning forward and continuing to stumble forward, he leaned backward and then walked backward and fell on the roof or the hood of this cop car. Quite a few people were laughing about it. Cop had a heck of a time getting him into the car. Cop did a great job. Nothing else on that one. Another one is he thought he was having a seizure. So he calls 911. He says, I'm having a seizure. I'm having a seizure. It's real light. I'm shaking all over. And so we get a phone call saying that the police officer is there and he cannot get into the drunkard's house. But he can hear him inside yelling, kick it in! Kick it in! Word to you police officers out there. When you kick a door, kick it next to the actual handle. That way you can kick the door open without damaging the door. This cop decided he was going to try and kick. Now this guy is probably 250 pounds, big belly kind of guy. He's out there kicking and kicking and kicking on the center of this door, and the door ain't doing nothing. It's just whoop, 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 whoop. Every time he kicks, it didn't do nothing. We get there, and of course we've got keys. We get up on the porch, and I notice that there's a crack in the door, and I asked cop, "You been kicking this door?" He said, "Yeah, I'm trying to kick it in." I was like, "You try the handle?" "Well, yeah, I tried the handle." I was like, "Okay." So I try the handle. It's locked, of course. So I take the key, I unlock it, and we get in. We hear our drunkard. He's in the back room. We go walking back there rather quickly. Cop goes first, of course, because he's a cop. You know, he got to secure the place. And our drunkard's back here saying, "I'm having a seizure. I'm having a seizure. Oh, I'm shaking all over." And I hear this sound going, and I see a cord coming out from between the mattresses. And I see it going over to the wall. So I reach down and unplug it. The stops. He goes, "Oh my goodness, thank you. I'm so glad you got me to stop having a seizure." And I looked at him and I said, "Bub, you had a massage pad plugged in between your mattresses. You were not having a seizure. The bed itself was just shaking." So he's, "Oh, thank you. Oh, good, good." Well, then we leave. Okay. So about another day or two goes by. We get another call about a disturbance in the park from him. His neighbor called and said that he was banging on her door. So we go over to talk to the lady, and the cops are there. He had gone over, knocked on the door, asked if he could mow her yard for $5. $5. That's it. She said no. So instead of saying, okay, you know, he went ahead and mowed her yard free of charge. And I'm going to say it again, free of charge. She called the cops and had him hit with a no trespassing order. These people live next door to each other, less than 30 feet from each other. And they can't get along enough. She had him hit with a no trespass. Okay, not that big a deal. Pretty bad. So they lived that way for a little while. Well, then we've got another one where he called the cops because he needed a ride. So he called the cops and said that I need a ride because my doctor said I need to go to a hospital in another town. This other town is almost an hour away. Come to find out, he had called them to see if he could get a ride up to this other town so that he could go to a party that was two blocks down. I mean, it was not very far from the hospital. So it was just a couple of blocks away. They didn't take it. So instead of getting him taken up there, he decides he's going to put his radio full blast, get as drunk as he possibly can, and just go to town singing. He was out in the front yard singing away. I mean, dude is just out there thinking he was on American Idol, and he was not doing good. Simon would have definitely X'd him a long, long time ago. But anyway, so the cops show up, and he's very drunk, singing in the front yard. He's not being belligerent. He's not being rude. He's just singing. And singing country songs at that. So then he falls on the ground. Cop walks over to help him up. So he grabs the cop's hand in one hand and reaches his leg or his arm up and around the backside of this cop's leg, caressing the backside of this cop's leg, looking up at him going, "You have some nice legs. Do you want to spend the night?" I'm like, what? I didn't know that he was that way. So I almost died laughing. They finally get him into the house. Cop was very good about it. He held his composure. Did not have any problems whatsoever. He had problems, but I mean, he did not have any problems keeping himself professional. And he was able to take our drunkard into the house, where the drunkard tried to do a very old guy trick that we do to all wives and girlfriends and things when we're drunk. He goes, "Can you help me into my bed?" So he turns him around. He's trying to push him onto the bed. As I'm looking through the door, our drunkard grabs a hold of the cop by both hands and tries pulling him on top of him in his bed. I looked outside. I was like, y'all need to get in there and help your friend. Okay, because he just got pulled onto a bed with our drunkard. And he's going to try and do some nasty things to him. So then, a couple days later, everything gets peaceful. And I'm sitting in my office talking to a friend of mine. And my friend he's not slow by any means. He's not. He's autistic. He's extremely smart. I mean, extremely smart. And if you're watching this, Helen, buddy, we miss you up here. But he can do a Rubik's Cube, the 8-sided ones, in less than a minute. Yeah, he's super, super smart. As far as people stuff goes, he was still working on it. Okay, so me and my buddy Tyler are sitting here in my office, and we see our drunkard walking down the road out my window, and I was like, okay, I see him fall. I'm like, all right, we gotta go out there and help him. So we go walking out there, and bless his heart, Talon walks up to him and says, "Are you okay?" He goes, "No, I'm not breathing. I'm not breathing." Our drunkard's saying, "No, I'm not breathing." And Talon goes, "Wait, I know CPR. Do you need mouth to mouth?" And about that time, our drunkard come up out of being all head, eyes rolling in the back of his head, can't breathe. "Don't you kiss me! Don't you dare let him kiss me!" And that is some of the stories of our drunkard. I'm going to leave you with this. Don't judge a book by its cover, because sometimes people really need help. And other times, people try to get help. But there is a time when you have to say, is this person going to help themselves? Or do you just have to give up on them? I really hope that you don't give up on him. We didn't give up on him. He is now a clean and sober person most of the time. He does not take care of his bills. He has a nice lady that comes and helps him take care of his bills. He is actually on the straight and narrow now, and that's why he doesn't mind us using his stories. He told us that he got really, really drunk the last time, and a young man came into his house, was sitting there on his chair looking at him, said, "You need to stop drinking. Then the young man turned into the devil and scared the living bejesus out of him. And after that, he hasn't had a drink. That was just a couple months ago. So let's see how long this one lasts. But don't judge a book by its cover. I'm going to leave you with one last little tidbit from our little drunkard friend. I get a call from our little drunkard friend. He says, I got my niece and my nephew, or not my niece and her boyfriend are wanting to stay with me. I need some applications. So we give him some applications for him. They turn the applications in. Everything goes fine. They get passed to live there. So they clean his house up. Everything's good. They live there for like 2-3 weeks. They're doing good. They get him drunk. They were keeping him sober, and then all of a sudden they were like, well, you were doing good. Let's get you drunk one time. I get a call saying that our drunkard was being belligerent. And I go walking in, and our drunk says, you need to get them out of my house. He tried to rape me. Our drunkard is like 5'4", maybe 150 pounds. The guy he said he's trying to get raped by is like 6'3", 6'2", and like 250. Solid muscle. I'm like, I don't think that's what's going on here. Anyway, they end up, they live there for another like 2 or 3 weeks, and every day is the same thing. They would let him get drunk, and then by the end of the day, it's, he's trying to rape me, and he doesn't want her to sleep with me and sleep with her at the same time, and he wants my body. And I'm inside his house listening to him at the end of all this, trying to keep our buddy out of being drunk and belligerent and whatnot, and find out what all is going on here. When he tries to do that little old trick again, he's like, can you help me on my bed? I said, I ain't helping you on to nothing. I'm going to fix all the problems that are in your house, but I ain't on to nothing. If you want these people out of your house, you're going to have to evict them your darn self, because I can't do it. You let them in, you got to kick them out. Well, lo and behold, something happened, and he decided he was going to kick them the hell out. So he got drunk one night, grabbed all their stuff while they went to the grocery store, threw it all out the back door, closed the door, locked the doors, and wouldn't let them in. So I asked our drunkard one day, what made you turn gay? And he's gay. And it's not that big a deal. He doesn't try to hit on anybody most of the time. Not normally a big problem. This guy went to prison, and that's where he found out he was of that way. And the reason he went to prison is because he decided when his wife was going to divorce him and leave him, he decided it'd be a good idea to kidnap her in his own house, lock her away for a week. He didn't beat on her. She said he yelled and screamed at her a lot, but he didn't beat on her, didn't really touch her, just locked her in the bedroom and barred the windows. Of course, the cops came in, rescued her. She's doing fine, living in another state. He went to prison, became the way he was, and eventually came up here. Where whenever I first met him was because I was doing a little bit of maintenance for the place, and I went down there to his house. It is, mind you, it's middle of wintertime, mid-December, and it's like 23, 24 degrees outside. Cold, real cold. So I go up to the house. I notice that he is laying inside in his boxers. Door open. Heat is not working. It's not on. Like, it works, but it's just not on. Drunk and passed out. So I go in, I turn his heat on, shut all the doors and windows for him, get him put up on his couch. And then from then on, the stories just come. And I really wish I could make some of this stuff up, but I can't. This is all real. Everything I say on these trailer park stories is real. I do not add the towns. I try not to add any names, because some of these people will probably know who they are, and other people do not. But just remember, as always, don't judge a book by its cover. And people are young and dumb once in their life. So, I mean, when it comes to people, use the best instincts, but try not to judge a book by its cover. Because our drunkard looks crazy. He looks like he's been through all kinds of heck, but he's one of the nicest guys you can ever meet. Next trailer park stories might be about either our religious man or somebody who's been in the news here lately, but I'm not going to say his name. Have a great day, and much faith to you.